Sidekick Media Services. We are your sidekick in business for social media, video production, and more. Find out more at sidekickmediaservices.com.
Hello, friends. I'm your pal in the mainstream media.
And I'm the Riz.
And you know, Riz, it takes years of strenuous, dedicated training before you're worthy to step inside a professional wrestling ring. But it takes even more time to develop complex, highly astute opinions about professional wrestling. Am I right?
That is correct. You know where we can find that?
Yes,
In the Wrestling Ham.
that's right.
Sidekick
Show is
Media
a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com. This show is brought to you by Slice on Broadway, supporting Pittsburgh podcasting with the perfect pepperoni pizza. Production services by Sidekick Media Services. And listeners like you, supporting us at patreon.com/awesomecast. It's time to get geeky, get awesome. I'm Mike Sorgat, Sorgatron on the social medias and the Sorgatron Media Studios in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And this camera is zoomed in way too tight on me. But we are ready to get geeky with y'all tonight. We got some intelligence on our apples. And only quite slightly losing our mind on social media this week. But we have our crew with us. First of all, from I've seen if I have to give her a moment here. From the Studio Duds here in Pittsburgh, PA, is Katie Dudas is with us. The Dudders. What you were adjusting?
National
there.
Cat Day.
National Cat Day.
I took all of my calls wearing this today.
You don't? Did you
Oh, my
seriously? I love it.
Mhm.
You are. What are you wearing for those on audio right now?
I am wearing, if you have ever seen those little fuzzy headbands that you put on, on your forehead to like keep your hair out of your face, or if you're washing your face. This is the Halloween version of Hello Kitty. It's got black ears, it's got bow and a big orange bow, but also Hello Kitty's on the side too. If you wanna... There she
Wow.
is. Ta-da! Very soft.
I know. I'm really shocked how much I'm seeing Hello Kitty somewhere in the vein of political commentary lately. So like they're just like the political comedians are like using it for just reference and stuff, and I'm like, oh, and my initial instinct, like, look, they used Hello Kitty. I was like, no, not this topic. No.
I'm living in my own little Hello Kitty world.
Exactly. So, by the way, pour one out for free Pocket Camp Animal Crossing.
Oh yeah.
Did you see that the other day? I guess you can like purchase one and bring your stuff over. It still survives, but still, it's just kind of an interesting move for them on Nintendo.
Not the same.
No. So, also with us, runner extraordinaire. I'm just looking at the clips coming up soon of you running through the thunderstorm from a few weeks ago. Is Dave Potter of the iPhoneography podcast.
Good to be here. Sort of good to be here. Yeah, we're completely sane this week. Completely sane.
Everything's great. And next week's gonna be so great. I'm gonna be hiding in the Magic Kingdom. So very well scheduled vacation. that I wish I could bring everybody with me so bad right now. So, anyways, this is the other. But
That's
this
how
is
Podner's like, this week is ridiculous, and then, but he isn't the one who forgot that they signed up for a 10-miler on Sunday 2 weeks before the race.
Katie. I have a little more leeway, but I did look at my listing. I have a virtual version for this race this weekend, and guess who also signed up for the 10-miler instead of the 5?
I thought you did, because I can't remember if that was what we needed for the trifecta medal, and that's the other reason I'm running this. Okay, I can't remember why we did this. I thought we were going to train.
Me neither. I don't. Me neither. And guess who hasn't worked out at all in the last week because they've been under the weather. Plus the dishearteningness that my activity rings completely stopped for like 3 days, so it looks like I'm dead if you're sharing your rings with me. So I wasn't okay, but I'm a lot better than the rings said I was for 3 days last week. So I did fill a couple of them a couple of days there, but Apple doesn't know it. So yeah, no, I had a pretty I had the your watches aren't going to sync with anything and you feel like crap, so you've just given up on life right now. So that's been me since like about this time last week situation. So I'm coming out of it a little bit better. I do have a cough button here, so if I disappear for a little bit, that's why. But I'm on the come up. I'm definitely on the come up on this. So let's get into our awesome things of the week. This is only awesome because it's in my hand. So actually, our friends Extra Life, actually my brother and his friends, and were here last week and did a takeover on Wednesday through Thursday. Thank everybody that contributed to that. You can still contribute with the links over there. The live stream is over on the Sorgatron Media and AwesomeCast. Actually, we streamed on every platform that we had to try to get in front of people. I talked to our sound trainee guy at the Thursday night, and he says he fell asleep to it. He watched it for from midnight until 3 a.m. until he dozed off. Just had it on for room stuff, because I had some copyright free music, and I just put it on the room, and I had a couple of the streams up that they were running here, and I went home to bed. So it was cool to see that people were watching. But I was given my friends work, my brother and my sister-in-law work at Walmart, and sometimes they bring me. I have a stack of for instance Apple AirTag keychains. If any friends need any, I have 6 of them now. But also, they gave me this thing. We talked about this a while ago, Katie. This is the Tile Lost and Found labels, the little QR code stickers. I've not opened these yet, but I was very interested in them, and I thought they could be fun for some things that are a little too small to put a Tile or AirTag kind of situation in. There it is, a little closer for on clearance for $5. By the way, they have it labeled as it was $9.88. These retail online for about $15 for a pack of these, and this is so they're the Lost and Found stickers. There are 10 sticker labels. I have not even opened this, so I thought it'd be kind of fun to do that. I mean, they're stickers, so I'm not expecting anything real exciting out of this. I'm always interested in, now Tile is something that is going to if you're not familiar with Tile, think what Apple Tags replaced, right? And you can pull this guy out here, and you do get a little you got your little labels, a couple little label pads here. I feel like I guess it doesn't matter if I show these or not, because they're going to be labeled to something. You download the Tile app and you connect your information to this, and they're showing it on water bottles and things like that. But I could see putting this on maybe cameras themselves or cases or other little things, especially maybe expensive things that I may have in my camera packs and things like that. That like Katie, I could see this kind of being used on lenses or something for a lost and found situation.
Ooh.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully your expensive lenses ended up in the hands of somebody that would be go through the process. But I feel like if you put on tech items, there's more opportunity that people will find it, know it, and know what these are, right? And if you look at them, they do say scan if found all over it. So, and then that'll pop up something on your and just for funsies, I know these aren't registered yet, but I'm wondering what will happen if we do do a quick kind of thing, just as a little experiment here. So give me 1 second so I can throw this up over on the screens. But excuse me. So we'll do a live demo here of sorts. And again, I didn't set any of these up. So if you go here, you're going to scan one of these guys, and it goes to a tile site, and brings that up. Oh, and it does go into the app and everything like that. Obviously, it's in a setup mode, and it'll tell you to download the application. So what you're paying for here, it seems like, oh, you're paying like $10, $15 for a bunch of stickers and QR codes. Why can't I do it myself? I think the biggest thing here is you're paying for, tile. Your information is going to be in the tile service. So again, if tile goes away, so does your information. It's kind of like the QR code problem we've had in the past when you're going through a service or something like this. But it does actually help with something like that. So I've had a tile in the past. No, not even a tile. I think I had those Skull Candy headphones, right, that use tile as part of it. So that was kind of an interesting process there. But it just seemed like anytime it's one of those things that didn't work when you really needed it to. So that's one of the reasons why I didn't go away from it. And if you're talking about tile itself, the biggest issue is not every phone has a tile app on it to pick up on something like this, whereas like an iPhone and all those things will allow you. I think Android devices, don't they pick up on AirTags as well now as part of the network, if I'm not mistaken?
Mm-hmm.
So like you have kind of a wider situation there. All right, now that I've done this, let's see what happens when I bring this up. So if you go in here, no, it's still looking for the app. Okay, it actually loads in the app, and it does give you choose a category. What is it going to be? I'm going to say, hey, let's put on my glasses or something like that. Save and continue, and then you can put in your information and the message you want to come back to the person from there, and save and continue. And that will be linked to that sticker that you put on the item. So that should be a pretty cool thing for you. So I don't know, Katie, do you see this being useful? Very specific things. Again, I think it's just some, for things, just it's hard to put AirTags on. It might be another option, right?
Yeah, I wish they were. I mean, they wouldn't work for lenses because there's not enough smooth surfaces to put them on.
Right.
That would work. Because I thought about that. I was like, oh man. I was like, nope. But no, I think at least it gives. I don't know. It's like if found lost tags, and I feel like they help them. I hope. I don't know. Like I feel like somebody hopefully would see that and be like, oh, this is somebody's thing. Because I mean, even sounds awful, but like lens caps. Like they're like wandering around. I mean, we were covering that event, and it was like, we found a lens cap. Whose lens cap is this?
Yeah, and it's just like, we know this is important. We know this is just something expensive. Please recover your lens cap. We feel for you right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, what about you, Dave? You have any any things you'd like to throw these onto?
You know what? I don't travel that much where I don't think this would be useful for me per se. Since they're not really tracking, it's more if you lose it and then someone finds it.
Yes.
But I would say the advantage, if you do, let's say, travel a lot, or have something that you would be concerned like that, and you, as you were saying, could you make your own QR code, print it out on stickers, make a website. Yeah, you could do.
They've done it for you at this point.
But yeah, exactly, and well, since they're in your hand, I'm assuming that the stickers are a little plasticky.
Yeah, they're
not just straight paper.
They're not just straight paper. They seem to be a little bit higher quality. It actually says on here, stick your. There was. I don't know if it was on this or the other thing that says it's and even their recommendations for this is perfect for water bottles, textbooks, tablets, lunch boxes, sports equipment, instruments, ID cards, luggage tags, and much more. There was maybe it was on the website I was looking. It says that they were resistant a little bit more to peel it, stick it, find it. So they're higher end stickers that they're going to take a little more. They're water resistant and things like that too, right? So.
Yeah, so it's a convenience and it's a big help. And if you're that concerned that it may get wet after you stick it on, get some clear tape and put it over top.
Absolutely.
But I can definitely see, like, especially you guys where you travel, you have all this gear. And you're generally around people when you're at the event who aren't just going to pick up and run with it. Because you're at an event. You have a captive audience, kind of. So, that I could definitely see, if it's a lens cap that doesn't detach, but it's still attached to the outside of the lens by like a little dongle cord or something, I could see putting it there. I don't know how lens caps are on the high-end lenses, if they're, screw off and then easy to lose type things.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I think it's it's that kind of thing. I mean, this is low level situation. Hey, it'd be nice if it has it back. I don't need to know exactly where it is all the time. So maybe don't put it on your camera. Unless honestly, I can see throwing it on a GoPro. Whose Go? I don't. Katie, how many GoPros? Like whose GoPro is this that we found on the track on Baja? Right? Something like that. And I've been trying to figure how to mark those honestly. So other than just getting really small Sidekick Media Services ones, but that could be even these. Actually, now I'm looking at these are still even a little too big for that too. So, but there you go. Lost and found labels from Tile. Actually, a correction. So this is a pack of 10 labels. The labels I don't see how much are in a pack themselves. But it says that it's a 3-pack for $14.99. I don't know if that's 3 of these sheets or 3 of these like 10 packs. Kind of situation there over on the website.
I'm thinking it's 3 of the sheets.
I'm kind of thinking 2. So
because it says 3-pack is showing 3 different color sheets.
It is, and then this had 2 sheets in it, and it retailed for 10. So I guess it's about $5 per sheet or something like that. But again, keep an eye out. They were on clearance in the clearance aisle over in the Bell Vernon Walmart at least. So a bit ago. So definitely worthwhile. So go check that out. And that's my awesome in hand thing of the week, I suppose. Katie, what's your awesome thing of the week? Did I catch her on the mute?
I was like, oh no, I'm muted. It's a cloud. It is actually multiple clouds. So I would, I do a lot of calls, and something I was noticing was, I'm going to try to do now, is like my shirt was always wonky and my shoulder was down, and I'm like, what's happening? And I kept having to fix my shirt. I was like, why is this down? And I was realizing that I had like the wrist guard on like the squishy at the bottom of my mouse, but I had nothing in front of my keyboard. So then I found these beautiful clouds. Like this looks like an intestine, like this. But they are beautiful clouds, multicolored clouds, that go like in front of my keyboard, and then I've been using the one with my mouse. So now I'm like a little bit more even and not so much like wonky with things, which I'm excited about. And it also came with a what is it called? The little thing you put your hot drinks on. Coaster that I also have used and liked. But I was like a pretty simple solution, and it's from Amazon. It was like $18, $17.98 now. And the reviews are like a 4.7 with 748 reviews. I'm like, okay. There's a few different versions always, whenever you go on there, finding different things. But it is no skid. Because it's not like it's a little tacky, like it's not sticky, but it's that little bit of tacky at the bottom of this thing, so it's not going anywhere. Nice. You can see my screen. So it's nice of that, and like I've definitely have noticed that like, I'm not so off kilter, and also like this is nice for my wrist. And it's also making me think I need a new keyboard, because my keyboard's a little too flat for this. So darn, I'm gonna have to buy a cute keyboard. Very sad.
Wait, what's your keyboard now then? You just got like a normal Apple-y one, or?
Yeah, it's like this thing.
Oh, that flat white.
And then it's on a thing, like a clear, but it's not enough. Like it just needs a little bit more. And like I've lost several keys on here. Like the E key is pretty much just gone. You understand?
Yeah. Oh, I understand. I had to find a keyboard for a project on Thursday nights for a new system we were setting up, and I was like, okay, I need to give him a keyboard that I'm not going to be sad if it doesn't come back. And it was like an Apple keyboard, probably from my 2007 iMac. It's missing like an enter key, and the shift doesn't work on the one side. And I made the guy like do like a crazy password that I generated, and I was like, oh, there's no wonder this doesn't work, so but it gets the job done for the week to week. So that's awesome. So that is the how do I geek it's you're not going to pronounce it. Upgrade leather cloud keyboard wrist rest. We'll have a link, of course, as usual. Here
go with wrist rest, and I like the comfortable memory foam. Is the kind of I like that material, because there's a bunch of different materials, but I like that one, and it's squishy. Awesome. And it comes in a bunch of different colors.
Awesome. Go check it out. It's over on
Now,
It'd be
Amazon.
cute.
Okay, real quick.
Yes.
It's talking about the base.
Mm-hmm.
What it says non-slip PU base.
Mm-hmm.
I
What
have no
does
idea
the
what P is.
yeah? Okay, so
I think he's
okay,
it's like a rubbery,
okay,
like it's. I think it's like a little bit of
Okay.
it. Like it's not sticky, but it's just like a little
Mm-hmm.
whatever.
little latexy.
Yeah,
Okay, now I just didn't know what they meant by PU. It literally
It does
they
not
say
smell.
letter P to letter U.
no stinkies. Yeah, I wonder what that is.
Yeah, because when they show it on the website, it's like the fourth image. Was it fifth image down? They show like latex being tapped from a tree.
Mm-hmm.
It's like maple syrup, but latex.
Mm.
No, I will. I don't know.
Okay.
It's kind of sticky, but not sticky. Like it's. Yeah.
Awesome. Potter. Oh, there you go. Potter, what's your awesome thing of the week?
Well, the fact that, and I don't think a lot of people realize this, there are actually 2 crewed space stations up currently.
What?
Yes, of course you have the International Space Station,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of the big one, due to be deorbited 7-8 years from now.
Mm-hmm.
No plan to replace it yet.
Mm-hmm.
However, China has their own space station because they didn't want to be involved with the International Space Station and get complicated with working with other governments. So they have their own space station. They have their own crewed flight people that go up, stay in the space station, come back down. And they just launched their a resupply mission, and with their first and only female spacecraft engineer. And it's pretty neat the fact that no, actually, is it launching? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, this is a
yeah.
previous video. I'm earlier in it. I'm just looking
Okay.
for interesting things. Here's the launch sequence here.
Yeah.
Actually, so
But it's unfortunately it's hard to, especially this time of year when there's other things which are in the news.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to get news that talks things about outside the U.S.
Yes.
if you're in the US or outside, an area. And I still think some people would be shocked to know that there is a space station up there,
Mm-hmm.
the International Space Station, and there's one that China made.
Mm-hmm.
And it'd be interesting to see people's reaction if, you go up to, oh, did you know China launched a supply to its own space station? Where, in the past, it is like, well, we have our space station, you have your space station, and what are they doing? And most people are kind of oblivious to things happening up there.
Yeah.
And it just, to me, it's a positive thing.
No,
You know.
it is. I keep going back to the for all mankind kind of thing where it comes together with these things. It is, obviously China's kind of a different scenario where, we were like, oh, we have to do third-party companies in order to, be able to do our supply missions and things like that. And, well, China doesn't have to do it. It's like, well, China, they probably didn't have much of a choice in that environment. So, and they have a more concerted effort for some reason, too, and probably less bureaucracy for it. That is not a positive necessarily, but maybe in this case. But yeah, it's and of course you had to go to space.com to get your China news on what's going on there. But no, and even you can look at it like, oh no, China's doing this. If you are kind of in the they are the enemy kind of mode of things too. But also that hopefully motivates people to do more here too. And if this invigorates, and reminds us that there is a space race going on for whatever is out there, maybe that'll light a fire under a rocket under others to get some more done here, or at least maybe even people that in the government to put behind something like this.
Yeah, well, or you hear about, like you said, about private industry being launching SpaceX. There's not a lot of private industry trying to develop its own space station.
No. Just rockets right
mainly
now.
because the economics, just in commercial, a strict commercial, it's not there. It's not there. This is, and the space station is not luxurious.
No.
They're little tubes. Literally they're modular, where they kind of come together, connect together, and you just kind of build it out piece by piece. Right. So you're not talking a luxury hotel in this in orbit.
No. This is we're still in a very functional thing, not what you've seen on television or anything like that.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
However, I did look up to get how big this thing is. It is approximately 150 feet long, and
the space station.
The Chinese space station, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a little bit bigger than I thought it was going. Than I thought. Yeah, it's 150-foot long and around 120 feet, they say, in diameter. Okay. So it's kind of in two directions, if you will. But with there's 3 people up there. Their maximum of 6 can be up there. It was launched in 2021, so it's been up there for over 3 years.
Is this their first space station up there?
Permanent. It's their first permanent. They had 2 experimental ones up just to see if it would work. So they basically launched 2 different spaceships up and made sure they could dock properly and people can go. But that was more of a test.
Okay.
So it was more of, let's see if we can get this to work. And then they made the more permanent space station.
Cool. Well, there you go. That's your Science Minute. Last week it was pulsars. This week we're learning about China in space. And you guys, thank you so much. Again, a programming note: we don't have anything scheduled in the next 2 weeks because between I scheduled a vacation for reals this time, and to which will be hopefully no work happening, and then we have some work down in Florida that we'll be doing here in 2 weeks. So it is not feasible for us to do any kind of live shows or anything like this. I don't know if I'll have bandwidth to be doing any kind of pre-tapes or anything like that either. Hopefully we can bring you something here, like we do have some plans for Mayhem Show. So if I get a bright idea in the next 24 hours, you'll have something next Tuesday night to watch, if not short. But anyways. But thank you, everybody that does support the show. It helps us keep it going, helps us sitting here trying to figure out what we do, what we can serve to you, and we are physically unable to, or even get me up and at this when I'm maybe not feeling the greatest, for instance. But thank you, everybody that does support the show at the Coffee Club level, Cynthia Klosky, at the Fan Show level, Michael Fedor, John Nagore, and Dave Ponder. You guys support the show, too. We do have a Patreon feed where you do get all the, how the sausage is made when we don't have the graphics up and everything over there while we're getting ready for the show, or if we're doing any post-Patreon kind of activity. You get that there first before we clip it off for everybody else on the Patreon, too. So go check us out, patreon.com/awesomecast. So let's get into the news. Yep, it's the news. There's a lot of Apple-ness going on here. I guess we can get into new Mac Minis dropped, and I understand they are adorably bite-sized.
Yes, they have shrunk them.
They shrunk them?
Yes.
They put them in the dryer?
Honey, I shrunk the Mac Mini.
Oh, no.
Where the previous Mac Minis were like 7.25 by 7.25. These are only 2-inch by, these are 5-inch by 5-inch and 2 inches high.
Okay.
So they are they're really small in terms of taking up desk space. As Apple tends to do, they bump everything up and they keep the price the same as the previous version. They did add ports to the front. So there are 2 USB-C ports in the front and a headphone jack.
Ooh.
And in the back, you have 3 additional USB ports that are also what's them?
They're Thunderbolt.
Thunderbolt, thank you. I almost said Firewire. Thunderbolt.
That's important.
Also HDMI and a wired Ethernet port and the power port.
So the only difference is you've lost your USB-A's in this one, and the headphone jack isn't, unfortunately, underneath the USBs like it is in the, which I don't know, Katie, if you have this problem with it, I find it completely baffling that they put the headphone jack where they did on that thing, because it's always hard to get to.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense at all. It's
No.
annoying.
You know, of all things that Apple does, right? So, but on the front, it's like, oh, maybe I won't just hide this thing off in a shelf somewhere, but I never see it. You know, I'll actually put it in front of me since I have accessible USBs. You know, that would be nice. So, but technically, one more USB, you know, / one more Thunderbolt port, depending on how you're looking at it. So
and
that,
if you
that
get
would be pretty
the
useful.
M4, if you get the M4 Mac Pro, they're Thunderbolt 5s, so
Okay.
they're like double the speed.
Oh,
if
yeah,
you need that for
I
the
am
back.
unaware of the 5s. I
Yes.
think 3 is anything that we use right now in our workflows. So probably hardly anything that runs 5 that I
Probably
would
not,
know
but it
about.
it does make it a little more future proof. But you figure that, and they did just like they did with the iMacs on Monday. It starts off at 16 gigs of RAM now.
Yes, I like that. I like that.
Finally.
So because I was just, you know, every once in a while I am hitting some RAM ceiling. Oddly with web browsers loading everything, you know.
That makes sense. Yep.
And I use 16. 16's been my de facto for a while now. So it may be time to kind of update that to the 24. So no, it seems relatively affordable. Like it does seem like kind of that low end you were talking about starting with the 16 seems like it'd be fine if you're going from, you know, like we are from like a Mac Mini M1, for instance. I can't say that. I know I'm not hitting the ceiling on anything performance wise that I think I need one of these things. But it may be good for a nice step upgrade. Again, if you're in an M1 kind of territory for something like this. So,
or even if you still have an Intel chip.
Oh, if you have an Intel chip, that's definitely worth considering at this point, right?
I mean, it's still. And I'm going around $600 for an entry level.
Sure, I mean that's
and
comparatively, that is what we pay for. We have those NUC computers that are they're actually 9th generation Intels, and that's about what they run still. And they're like the perfect thing that we need. They do what we need. We can put an NVIDIA card into them. So if you have a workflow that doesn't need vMix like we do on a PC, like it's actually very comparable. And I'm sure this thing, you know, if you're doing something, you know, performance comparative, is going to shred that thing in comparison, right? Katie, you know, as I think you're in the same boat. Mac Mini. We basically have both the same computers, don't we?
Yes.
Like we're just in the same cycle.
Yeah, the upgrade cycle.
Yes.
I have it.
Yes. Are we really looking for an upgrade at this point? Are you interested in the smaller form factor at the very least?
Oh, I love how cute and little it is. Do I have a real need right now? Probably not. No. But it would be nice to be able to just like edit my photos and keep that over there and not so much on my friend in front of me.
Yeah. So yeah, it's not a need, but it's kind of like my Apple Care's up here in a few months, and I was like, okay, is it time to upgrade because it's out of service and I don't want to be stuck without it? Because I don't know if you have this problem, but when Macs go on me, they go. They are like, I am done. You can't turn me on anymore, and Apple doesn't know why, and I'm out of Apple Care, right? And I'd rather get ahead of it and buy one before I have to. Because nothing's worse than being mad about buying a new Mac because you were required to. You know, it used to be a thing of joy to unpack one of those, and now it's become a, damn it, I don't need this right now. So, especially if it's very much required for your work. So, but at least they start fairly cheap, though, right?
Oh yeah, like I said, this is your entry level Mac. I mean, it's only the computer. It doesn't include the monitor, the keyboard, or the mouse.
No, but we're recycling those. Hell, you know.
Yeah, exactly. So if you have that already,
Katie's got a sweet new monitor over there. She could just swap out, right?
Yeah, especially, or you know what? I hate that a cheap TV.
Yeah,
with the HDMI port.
Maybe for your old one. There you go, Katie. You need the new one so you can put the other one on your TV so you can just stream everything.
There we go.
I was using my Samsung TV for my second monitor.
Oh,
that's why I had to change out from this one. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
It was incredible. It worked really well. It just the color was off, so the photo editing was always back over here. But yes, I did that. So don't.
Yeah, I have a very similar issue. Missy took my monitor because it matched the other one, and she wanted them to match for her rig. But now I have like it is god awful for trying to edit video on that thing, and I have to pull it off and look at it on my phone and everything like that. My workflow is so messed up right now. But yeah.
Also, one thing I do want to mention that they did make an update for.
Mm.
Now I don't know if this is gonna the chip would and everything else would choke on it,
Mhm.
but that thing will drive 3 displays, 3 external displays.
Hello. Yeah, because I'm maxed
the
out at 2
plain,
right now.
Yeah, the plain M4, 2 displays with up to 6K at 60 hertz, and then one additional one either at 5K over Thunderbolt or 4K over HDMI.
Oh, I'm not even close to that. So,
But if you get the M4 Pro, it can do 3 displays, 6K
okay.
over Thunderbolt or HDMI.
Well, I was even I had the 2 displays, and I was going to put a third one up for a reference monitor if I could, and I was going to get a Thunderbolt. I think I have a Thunderbolt output, one of them Ultra Studios. They're something like $60, I think. If you're interested in one, if you need to push something that's like for video, that is just going to push the video you're editing out into a display. Like they're perfect for something like that, and then you're just using a Thunderbolt port at that point, and don't have to worry about the actual HDMI. If you need something very specific for that, it's not going to turn into your desktop, but it'll function in a different way too. So, awesome. Other than that, let's take it with the Apple stuff. Of course, the 17.1 came out on Monday. 18.1, excuse me.
No.
I was looking at some old Apple devices, but Apple Intelligence is a part of that. It's in there. I did update my desktop computer as well, so I can get those services over there too, and seeing where it goes. Nothing is functionally kind of popped up for me. The one thing I did notice, because honestly, when I was having trouble with my watch, I did download the public beta since it was like Thursday, so I figured any big issues wouldn't be an issue. Let me see if that pops up here, because I noticed like right off the bat, I did get the summaries for my notifications. Oh, that's the wrong thing. Let me do this here real quick. We'll throw this over here. Boom. And yeah, you can get the summaries for sure. So like, for instance, like my Wise camera says multiple people detected in the office cam and others within, the latest at such and such time. There's summaries for your business kind of situation. Be careful, because one of these came up and I was messaging with a promoter on Saturday for an event here. Corey Brown expresses feelings for 2PW. Mike Law to remain champion. And this is all comments on posts for some of the wrestling pages that we're attached to, right? So you go in there, and it's going to break it down to the actual messages that are going on there. And again, I had something like this where I'm messaging with a promoter, and he's telling about how there's cancellations. Like some of the wrestlers had canceled on them that day of. And the summary came up, APWF show canceled. And I was like, what? And I pulled it up. That's what it interpreted things as a summary based on what he was saying in the message. So again, you're open to potential misinterpretations. Take it with a grain of salt, and always click that thing and drop it down. Now, how do you know that it's a summary instead of a proper message? When you look into that, let me get back to one of these. You see this little icon here. It's a little arrow with looks like kind of a text lines and a little arrow that goes underneath. So that's going to be your summarize indicator there if you have multiple things. And usually it's when you have multiple messages stacked for especially a messaging app or something like that, it's going to be a big thing there. So my podcasts are summarized as well. About the OG Bloodline gets back together on Raw for WWE. Fishing Without Bait episode 443 is out. And you look under, there's that episode of Fishing Without Bait, and then the Busted Open is new according to the podcast and things like that. So that's one way that Apple Intelligence is going to be doing something for you. Siri is definitely doing more. I've been trying to ask it more intricate questions, and it's at least reading Wikipedia to me and to ask me if it wants me to keep reading and things like that and do more comparative things. It's not as perfect as doing like maybe a Google or a ChatGPT search with voice, but it has been a little bit more to it. And it does have that full screen rainbow shimmer thing go on, which looks really great when you're driving down the road at night on a CarPlay. So that's what stuck out for me so far. Have you guys installed it, and have you poked at any of the Apple Intelligence things so far?
I changed the look of mine.
Oh yeah,
I did. Yeah, I customized. Yeah, I did the whole customize the like when you hold down the screen, edit, and I'm customizing my phone and the way it looks. And I switched it to dark mode, and I just love the look of the apps. And then you can change these to any color, depending on your background. I'm covering how many notifications I have at the bottom because I don't want anybody to have, just die to see them.
Yeah. Trigger warning.
I know, I was like, I'm not going to show you this. But like, I love this. And then you have the option to either make them small or large. When you go to large, you lose the words like underneath all the apps or like the names of the folders, which I love because then this is like the basic. Remember how like basic picture iPhone? That's what I like, and I can't believe it's been less like overwhelming to look at without all the little words underneath the apps and underneath the folders. So I very much like that.
Yeah. What about you, Dave? What about you, Dave?
Well, I'm going to get on my soapbox here a little bit.
Here we go. Oh no.
Okay, so I can't use it on my phone. That's not the soapbox.
Oh, okay.
Because I have a 13. I have a 13.
Okay.
I understand.
No
you
problem.
have to have a 15.
We're not trying to phone shame you here.
Yeah.
It's a perfectly adequate. I think my mother is on an 11 or something like that. So perfectly okay.
But I did update Ruth's phone and our new iPad, which both can run Apple Intelligence. I updated it. And I'm like, okay, first thing I tried was the photo app because now it has erased stuff in the photo app.
Okay.
So I said, okay, well, here's a picture and let's see if I can erase this. You circle the thing in the background or you just kind of scrub your finger over and it does a pretty good job, in terms of, deleting stuff that you want out of a picture. I said, okay, now I'm pretty positive about that. That's not too bad. Yeah, you can just click erase it. First time you use it, you have to download cleanup.
Oh, okay. I'm working on that now.
And then you can just kind of, like if you want to get rid of the yellow thing over a little bit of time. So I tried that out on a couple of pictures. And, like I said, I'm pleased with it. Especially for something, I know it's been out, but for a new feature, it works pretty good. And so I'm like, okay, well, I want to try the text part. Yeah, see, so if you just kind of, and you can see where the mat, and then it'll.
There you go, and the light goes away.
Yeah.
How about that?
So and when you put your finger over it, kind of shimmers to show what you're selecting there. And you can actually just circle something also.
Okay, now it got weird. Oh, that was it. Working on it.
That's it.
That's
Processing. Yeah.
Okay, like a little bit of light.
Or
there,
like if you have
that.
like an object, let's say in a group picture, and you have you can just circle that object
like
completely.
Just saying this guy maybe I didn't want in here since I didn't get him entirely. You can work on that. Oh no, it did not work well. His head.
Well, like I said, it doesn't.
It's
work
not perfect,
perfectly.
and there's a lot of lines in here, so it's kind of hard to track the person. So.
But then I was trying to use the text to see, because you can do, like I said, beyond the summary, it does have, and this is built into Apple, so this isn't ChatGPT. If you're typing something, you can say, okay, suggest improvements, or summarize this for me, or make it a bullet point, or rewrite it in these 3 different tones. And I couldn't figure out how to do it. I'm like, I'm not getting the option. My first thought is, well, I have devices which aren't Apple Intelligence ready. So do I have to have all my, that doesn't make any sense. And I'm trying to look online, and it says, oh, after you download it, you have to go to settings, go to Siri and Apple Intelligence, get on the wait list, wait a certain amount of time, and then you'll be allowed to get it, and then you can opt in.
How do I know if I'm on the wait list?
Well, if you go to settings,
I'm in it now. I'm in the beta.
Okay, I see it's on. You're already on.
Okay.
So you're through it.
Yeah.
But after you update it to 18.1, you have to go into Siri and Apple Intelligence.
Okay.
Get on the wait list.
Okay.
It then I think what it does, it looks and sees if you can actually run it or not.
Yes.
And then you have to then activate it.
Okay.
Which,
all right.
They did not explain that.
No, they did not.
Very clearly.
Nope.
That's my soapbox. It's just a complete. Now, like I said, the fact that you can highlight some text and say things like, okay, rewrite this in a friendly tone, or rewrite this in a professional tone. And it'll do it, and that's on device. because in 18.2, which is hopefully due out by the end of the year, that's when you're going to get ChatGPT integrated with Siri.
Mm-hmm.
And that's in beta now. So Siri, it looks different. It's better, but it's still not where they showed it at WWDC.
No, it's going to be coming along.
Summer.
It's going to be coming along. There is interesting things like in photos. I think I had asked it to, there was a suggestion of trying to, God, I can't remember. It was just like I was playing with like I was trying to find pictures of Missy with a hat, and then it's like, do you want to make a thing, like a movie thing out of this, kind of like what Google Photos does, and there's a whole like animation thing that happens to that, and it brings it together. Other things I'm noticing, like Katie and I had a messaging exchange earlier today, and where she's giving me some advice and stuff, and I noticed that has a little "thank you for understanding" as a response that's coming up now when it pops up. Things like kind of like that feels like it's bringing a little bit of what we're used to of like the AI responses that we've seen in Gmail for a while, for instance, right? In email, if you use Apple Mail, that's supposed to be a little more integrated for that. You do have the cleanup tools, is my understanding too. The writing cleanup tools and things like that. You can go into, I've seen the button to record a conversation, but I did it while I was ordering pizza today, so I figured I shouldn't try that yet. But man, that option is very interesting to me because I don't know how many times I take a business call and wish it was a Zoom so I could do an AI summary of the thing. But the next time I had a business call today. I really should have done it too. But I was a little preoccupied. But the idea is like, hey, there's going to be a thing. I'd love to hear, like, does the person on the other end hear a tone when that happens or something like that? Obviously, we'd be like, hey, I'm going to use my AI thing. Is that okay? Move on with that, kind of thing, right? So that is very interesting to me because it's supposed to be able to transcribe it and summarize it and stick it into your Apple Notes. So that seems like a fantastic extension there. Also, obviously could be used in very interesting ways as well. But no, I think that's a nice upgrade for something like that.
Yeah.
So.
And it is baby steps, and just like how Apple does things most of the time, they don't go deep into the technology for the average user. They're more of, here's what you can do with it. Similar to when Apple Pay came out. They didn't say, you have an NFC reader that can do this, this, this. They said, double click your side button, hold it to the device, and then either Face ID or thumb, depending on what you have, and you can securely use a payment. So they didn't explain that. It was more of, for the average person, what they need to use. So, like I said, it's going to be doled out little at a time.
But that gives you a reason to be on all those 9-to-5 Macs and Macwords to learn all the tricks. So, a lot of stuff happening there. Like I say, you mentioned the Mac Minis. The Mac, what was it? iMacs came out yesterday. Oh, this was a feature that surprised me. And this may not have been new to 18.1. But in my discovery, because Missy has a fun has discovered the whole you can create a do not disturb, customize a do not disturb to what apps and what people will respond. So I was creating some for our trip next week of exactly who I don't I want to be in a full. I was like, oh no, I don't want anybody to be able to message me, but also I still have an app for where I'm going that I want the notifications to come through. Right. So it's like, oh, wait, I can just I can narrow this down and, say like, hey, you're going to take all the Disney apps and put it in there. So you already have some that are kind of developed in here. If you look into something like your focus and everything on your phone as it is, if you have the 18, right? So if you go in here and there's the button. You go in here. So like I created one for Disney, for instance, right? And if you go in there and do the settings, again, like you have like, okay, I got my people that I usually cool. It's not a pain and they're messaging me. And then my apps are literally just like the hotel apps and the Disney apps, right? So like that is a full vacation mode situation there, right? The other fun thing I discovered was you can create different looks and everything. Like currently, for instance, this is what it looks like on my phone now, right? It's a starry night thing, you know. I have the, you know, the weather and it reacts to something like that. But if I go in here and go to my focuses, and let's say I go to like driving has it when it comes on automatically, I've changed the entire look of the thing. My lock screen, let's see if it pulls up my lock screen here when it comes up. Like it's a nice, you know, kind of motif to it. And that was a suggested picture. Which reminds me, I need to show you the suggested pictures that come up with some of these too, because they're kind of hilarious. Let's see, if you do the, let's say sleep is another one that I've been trying to do. And I set these up all last night, so this is kind of new here, right? I thought sleep had a good one. I thought which one? Which one has my dog on it?
These ones have been around for a little bit.
Okay, it's ones like this.
Yeah. Because sleep, you can actually have it. Because my sleep mode comes on. I have it set up where it comes on. I set a sleep and wake time. I think it's under the health app. And you can set it up per day. So if you're like, well, Wednesday I always go in early, or Thursday I can sleep in a little bit, and the weekend I don't want an alarm. You can do all that, and it'll go into sleep mode automatically after a certain time. So you won't have, you know, let's say, I don't know, you're part of a Facebook Messenger chat that gets very active.
Yep.
And you can say, oh, I'm in sleep mode. No messages, no, you know, weird buzzing at 3 a.m. type thing.
It's highly recommended. I've been using it for a while, actually. So this is the thing. So when you go into the thing, there's actually takes your pictures and creates some suggestions for wallpapers from your camera roll. I thought you guys would get a kick out of some of these selections. Katie, you're in here. There's what I got my dog from, and there's Katie. It looks like that looks like a cutout from when we were at Universal last year, perhaps. And then
looks like it.
And then there's Riz just pointing at something, but I think it cut off his hand. So yeah, there you. I don't know what's going. You have your iPhone in your. I don't know what this picture is. And then the other one was this one. I love Bradley, who we know from our wrestling and Jim from Fishing Without Bait. They look nice though, right? So, and then that looks like probably a picture from God, what town is that? Who knows?
No idea.
Who knows?
I'm not sure why they made Jim green, though.
Yeah, exactly. What's that, Katie?
I said Bradley. I was just laughing at me.
Yeah, it was the first one I noticed. I'm like, what is that? So definitely worth getting in there and playing with those. I like those because it does tell you like what mode you're on, because sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm still on Do Not Disturb. I didn't go to the sleep mode yet or something like that. And it does kind of like set tones. You know what I mean? I like the color tones. You know, like, oh, I'm in this mode. It's like another trigger for you if you're need that kind of AV you know, reaction to things like that. Now, how do I turn off my Do Not Disturb? There we go. Anyways, Katie, you have a couple of things here I know we don't want to touch on before we get out of here.
You want to go ghost? Go, ghost.
Okay.
Ghost. It's what's happening. It's what happens. It's Halloween season. So my friend Dominique Murray, she has a studio down in Southside, and she's done a lot of photos and things for us. And she asked me and one of my friends, Chelsea, if we could do a photo shoot with her, because it's the ghost trend where everybody does the ghost things as ghosts. And then she dressed up as like, so this is the full experience. Like if you were to go to her, you're getting the full experience. Like there's the glam touches, like from makeup to fresh steam sheets. We make sure they are picture perfect in every detail, guided posing. Like you can see that, catch the vibe from every angle. Same day gallery reveal.
Wait, that ghost is showing
sexy.
some leg over there.
Yeah, that's a sexy ghost. Yes. So it was so much fun, and like I can't wait till there's the photo in the background of me with it's like false lashes with my pink sunglasses down. And it's one of the greatest photos I've ever been in my life. because it was so silly and it was so much fun. But yeah, we just stuck false eyelashes on the outside of a sheet to make them that glamour ghost.
Well, and this is Dominique Murray on Facebook, right?
Marie, yeah, yep. She's fantastic, and but yeah, we've been seeing a lot of this trend popping up. So there's still time. It's not Halloween yet. We got till Thursday. So if your job's interesting, do it as a ghost.
The Statue of Liberty has a ghost costume I saw, which is I don't think we've ever done that before, right? Wow.
Spooky.
Awesome. You have another celebration here as well, right?
Yeah. Oh, this is fun. So there's a 50 Hello Kitty turned 50 this year, which I've probably mentioned before, hopefully. But she's doing a collab with Wet n Wild makeup, which is very exciting because Wet n Wild is something that is very accessible. They have it at Walmart. Anybody can buy it. It's not like sometimes you do these fancy high-end things and you're like, oh, I wish I could get. But I did order some, and it's like, there's the makeup case. And I love it. It's adorable. And this is my very awesome thing that I'm excited about. So it sits flat like this, and it's open. So you're not like, oh, I got to dig in here. And then they also I have it on the floor. It's very exciting. As I come back, the brushes, I had to buy those because they're cute and functional. And then, like pencils, eyeliner, lip liner, lip gloss, there's a whole bunch of stuff there, makeup wise. And it's actually pretty good. Like I don't know, 'cause sometimes you're like, oh, get to spend X amount of money. They're really good products. Wet n Wild's been around, like I said, forever. And yes, very excited about it. Did get it. Look at it. It's got blushes, shimmer. My friend Chelsea, who was also the ghost, very much bought a lot of the other eyeshadows and lip liners or lipsticks, and recommends them too. So I was very excited about that, and I ordered it from Walmart, and just drove through, and they were like, "Here's your bag." So yes, Walmart Plus also is amazing.
There you go. Those are pretty cheap. They're about $8 to like $17 on average there. So that's I think relatively affordable as far as makeup goes in my limited experience. So in my limited experience. So awesome.
If I got the sleeping cat in the picture.
There you go. Yeah, I saw when you were leaning over. I'm like, oh, there's a cat there. Hello. So you did have I'm sorry I missed the Apple thing when we were doing the Apple bunch of things. What was this that you discovered?
Have you seen Stacks? Is this new? I didn't know if this was new.
I've avoided it.
I love it. I was like, I'm gonna hate this thing, and I love it. So part of, like, I don't know, I feel like sometimes my job requires me to do a lot of screenshots, for example, and that absolutely kills my whole desktop across all monitors, 18,000 monitors. It's a sea of screenshots, and this stacks things with like items. Like, for example, yes, I still have the 8,000 screenshots, but they're stacked, and they're not taking up the, like, overwhelming me where I can't even look through them because there's so many. But yes, I love it. It looks so much cleaner. It's not, my images are stacked, my documents are stacked, my spreadsheets are stacked, and you can change how they, how they're stacked, what the order looks like. Which I like I said, I was like, ew, what's this? And I just turned it on today, and I love it. And
I'm
it's,
curious.
like I said, it's easier.
So I got a little bit of mess, and it's different from computer to computer. You right click, and then you do use stacks, and okay.
Right?
Now how do I? Oh, and then it just like it fleshes out. Oh, wow, this is okay. I unfortunately have a lot of folders that shouldn't be here anymore. Folder projects, but yeah, that is insanely helpful. That's fantastic.
Right? They've had that for a little bit of time because when my iMac was still up and running, for screenshots, that was great. Because, like I said, they wouldn't be scattered, all your screenshots in one stack.
Yep. And unfortunately, since it's all in, if it's all in iCloud, that means I have screenshots from every computer on every computer. So, and one of the computers is an old MacBook Pro that we do the DVDs on from like 2013. So it gets a little sketchy. That's awesome. The stack them up. Awesome. Guys, it's been a good hour with you. An awesome hour, if you will, here for the last show of October. We're a couple days out from Halloween. Hope everybody's going to stay safe out there. Myself, I'll be doing an outdoor. But apparently it's warm enough now. We'll be doing a Halloween show up in Lower Burl at amazing videographer Aaron Woods, who comes and does stuff. I've been looking at his wedding stuff. It's incredible what he's been doing with video out there. So I guess it's a Halloween party, and we're gonna have a fun wrestling show. We'll be live streaming it on IndieWrestling.us. And we had a lot of fun. I know last year there was like something of a costume battle royal that we had a blast with when we did Thursday Night Fights. So looking forward to see what's coming out from this too. So, Katie, do you have any big Halloween plans?
I'm gonna go see my nieces and nephew. I did.
Aw.
Shout out to Amazon. My niece asked me to be Poison Ivy, and it's a cartoon version of Poison Ivy that there was no costume for, and I had to make sure it was family friendly. And I ordered all the bits and pieces, and I think I'm good to go.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, this was an issue we were talking about here. Like, how do you do not overly, like, less Uma Thurman, right, and more Batman the Animated Series situation.
Yes.
So yes, not Harley Quinn in Poison Ivy version, right?
Well, yes, but not. There's a cartoonier version.
Yes.
I don't know if she found it. So she is Harley Quinn, and I am.
Awesome. Looking forward to pictures. Let's see how that turns out there. What about you, Potter?
Not really anything planned, but we're gonna pick up some candy just in case anyone comes by. Probably won't, so that means we're gonna eat it. But so that's why we make sure we get things we like.
It's permission to buy candy for ourselves night. Yeah.
Yay!
Well, there's a nice live stream you can join on Thursday night.
We do. We will.
There you go. Thank you guys so much. At Sorgatron on the social medias, and you can see all the behind the scenes of we had some productions over the weekend out in Johnstown, PA for APWF. That's over on that's actually on the live stream. You can go watch that show right now for free over at IndieWrestling.us's YouTube and network streams as well. And like I said, no proper show for the next 2 weeks. We're gonna try and get something in the feed, but I cannot promise anything at the moment, unfortunately. Unless I go buy from like a phone at Disney. But before then, there is a very big date. Next Tuesday is a very important date. I just want to say an apolitical, please go vote, no matter what your beliefs are and stuff. Just making sure you are represented here for what's coming up here in the election is a big one. And I hope you get to have your voice heard as far as that goes. So, and everybody be safe out there for that as well. Hopefully you've and a lot of places have advanced voting, so you don't have to do it and be part of what could be a madhouse on Tuesday. Get it out of the way, and it relieves a lot of stress. I feel like I voted about a month ago. I know that's not completely true, but it was almost a month ago that I received and submitted my ballot and didn't have to worry about it, and can go off and have a peace of mind that that's done with in my travels. So highly recommend that. And again, I believe, you can still just participate in that, pick one up, Penn State to state. I know Pennsylvania has some early balloting things, I believe, happening this weekend that you can be a part of. Check your local, there's voting website. There's some website, I'm sure, that should be on top of my head right now. Thank you, everybody. You have been our awesome audience. Have an awesome week. This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at Sorgatron.